serious.
There are signals that are sent out, including this program.
I was going to just what I was saying. Is it true that all shows, television, radio shows, that are sent out travel forever through the void?
Yep, they do.
They do not diminish in...
Well, they do. They diminish by what's called the inverse square law, so it goes twice as far. It's a quarter as intense.
But somebody with a receiver...
With a powerful and receiving antenna and
So all the television shows and radio shows have been broadcast.
Well, the Earth turns, so they get jumbled up.
But are still traveling through the cosmos.
This is an outrage!
General Harvard, I'm sure this occasion must be as gratifying to you as it is to me and to the rest of us. Ever since you joined the Radio Corporation of America some 14 years ago, you have heard us talk about this new child television. You've watched it come from the cradle and learn to creep, and today, I'm glad to say, marks a new epoch in the development of this child. I suppose it really climaxes in the fact that you and I are the first actors on the television stage.
Now, the principal advantage television has over radio is that the performer can be seen as well as heard. Certainly, the police will be able to make good use of television. Perhaps in your own home some evening.
This is the City Detective Bureau broadcasting and telecasting today's list of wanted persons. Notify the police immediately if you see this face. He is wanted for murder.
And it's just one of the possibilities in television. Oh, there's a flock of others. Imagine what could happen to program interludes. All the various station announcements. Maybe they'd go something like this.
Oh, thanks for the memory of rainy afternoons, swingy Harlem tunes, motor trips and burning lips and burning toast and prunes. How lovely.
Tonight on the CBS Wednesday night movie, it's John Ritter at his laughable, lovable best.
If you won't marry me, how about letting me bite you behind the knee?
He's a swinging attorney until he falls for an older woman.
Whoa!
He's really serious. She's not so sure.
Is that your idea of a first kiss?
Neither is her grown-up daughter.
What are your intentions here, champ?
Or his friend.
You're in way over your head.
But John Ritter will stop at nothing to prove he's head over heels in love with an older woman. A world premiere coming up next.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got
beer for the best time of the day. Miller High Life.
Rather than compare personal computers ourselves, we asked the computers which one was better on the basis of price and memory. The Apple II preferred the Commodore 64. Then we asked the IBM, and it picked the Commodore 64. Then the Radio Shack chose the Commodore 64. That's what we like about our competition. They're so honest. The Commodore 64, what nobody else can give you at twice the price.
You know, just a few seconds from now, it'll be about 10 minutes till the ball drop, and you can feel it in the air. There's a buzz. You hear that sound? They know it's going to happen. And they'll all be looking at the big ball up there on top of #1 Times Square. It's a 77-foot flagpole. Let me show you how they put this ball together and give you a couple of the statistics. It's a 6-foot ball in diameter, and they've mounted on 1,070 pounds of aluminum there. It's just covered with these crystals. There are 504 of them. They range in size from 4 3/4 inches to 5 3/4 inches long. And then again, they're lighted with 168 halogen bulbs at 60 watts, by the way. And as I mentioned, the flagpole is 77 feet tall. It's 390 feet up in the air over Times Square. And that's what these people down in that little square are looking at. This is all of the design of this intricate ball, and it's brand new this year, brand new for the millennium. And of course, there are other symbols around the world. They drop an orange in one place, they light up a fountain somewhere else. But I must tell you, of all the symbols in the world that denote New Year's Eve, it's Times Square and the ball, and that's what they want to see. They're a little cozy down here. Yeah, say hi to Mom. She's watching you on TV. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Every single person in this crowd is watching for that thing to move. It's all computerized now. In the old days, you used to drop it with a nylon clothes cord with 3 guys and a Mickey Mouse watch. It's all computerized now, highly technical. A couple of years ago when they first started, we had a minor glitch. Talking about Y2K things this year. A couple of years ago when it was computerized, we were a little bit late. I think we lost it by about 2 seconds that year, and boy, did it hit the papers. As I wave to television, turn around now, watch the ball. That's it there. You think she heard me? That's a funny look. Look at them. They're all the way up to Central Park, all the way down to 42nd Street. This is a massive New Year's Eve crowd with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Listen to the music build. They're ready. They're in their sombreros. That's our street cam. We've got 25 cameras here tonight covering this event. This is a really big one. You were wise to stay at home. In 1 minute, the ball will drop and you will see pandemonium. Listen to him. The ball is beginning to move. They can feel it. They know it. In 47 seconds, it will be 2,000. You're in Times Square with a couple of million intimate friends. 35 seconds. They're ready in 30. Get close to somebody you love. In 25 seconds, it'll be the new year. In 20 seconds. And we're going to count it down from here down when we get to 10. Are you ready? Happy New Year early. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 2000!
We think there are going to be several 100,000 people lined up Friday night and Saturday morning just to have the first one, just for that cool factor.
The trick is getting your hands on one. David Pogue did, and as he showed us, step one is using your digits to unlock the iPhone's much hyped features, whether playing videos or even resizing photos.
You zoom in or zoom out by pinching or unpinching with your fingers. It's spectacular.
Well, at least it is the core design, from web surfing to a menu of your voicemails that look more like emails to Google Maps.
It's not true GPS, but it does show you each driving instruction.
To, oh yeah, the phone, which isn't exactly front and center.
You have to turn the thing on, then you hit the home button, then you hit the phone button, then you hit the address book, and then you tap the names.
And in case you hadn't noticed by now, there's no physical keypad. It's virtual.
And that means a learning curve, especially for those of us with fat thumbs or who have just gotten used to typing on one of these. For most, though, it's still a thumbs up.
And unless you're some, emotion-free Vulcan, this phone brings pleasure, and that should count.
Okay, hold the iPhone for a second. Why so much buzz about yet another personal device?
It's got everything you need, all wrapped up in one.
People are already waiting in line. Ultimately, the build-up is built on Apple's now iconic iPod, which debuted in 2001 and has since sold more than 100 million units. That's how many iPhones Apple may sell by 2010, according to analyst Richard Doherty.
We think 1 million phones will be flying out the door that first weekend, and perhaps a few more million during July.
But cash will also fly out of your wallet. $500 to $600 for the device itself, plus a 2-year contract, with monthly fees ranging from $60 to $100 using exclusive carrier AT&T, not known for having the fastest data network.
Am I on the case or what?
By the way, save your iPennies. Some analysts believe the next generation of iPhone may be available within a year. Daniel Seberg, CBS News, New York.
NASA will soon announce where the shuttle fleet will come to rest in retirement. Atlantis, Endeavour, Discovery. The orbiters free of charge, except for a transport charge of about $28 million.
You can see one of the shuttles up close. This is the Enterprise, on display here at part of the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum outside Washington. This was a prototype shuttle used for testing, but never going into space.
We say farewell, Discovery.
The Smithsonian is expected to get the Discovery, headed to the Udvar-Hazy Center near Washington's Dulles Airport.
The museum had always hoped that eventually the Columbia Space Shuttle would come here as the first of the space shuttles. But after Columbia and Challenger were lost, we began to hope that we could acquire one of the remaining orbiters.
The Enterprise will get shuttled somewhere else. Among museums, something of a space race, with only a handful of orbiters to go around. In the running, the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, the Johnson Space Center in Houston, and flight museums in New York City, Dayton, Ohio, and Seattle. NASA will make the final call April 12th, 30 years after the shuttle's first launch. The black and white craft has managed to make the idea of space travel common, but still people stare.
It was much bigger than I thought it would be. It's an amazing aircraft.
I'm not real happy that it's going away because I really like watching them launch.
A few more liftoffs are left, then mothballs, flying to museums on the back of a Boeing 747.
But I detect here just a sense of pride when people come in. They're thrilled to see the space shuttle vehicle.
Touchdown. The shuttle coming back down to Earth, staying for good, as America plots its next course into space. Lee Powell, The Associated Press, Chantilly, Virginia.
From
most people, the new year is cause for celebration, but for some, this year is cause for concern. Concern that we've only got a year left on the planet. You've probably heard this, that according to an ancient Mayan prophecy, the world will end in late 2012. So we put our own Dr. Doom, Ron Claiborne.
I'm Dr. Doom recently, yeah. Now listen, I don't want to ruin your New Year's Day, but there may not be, friends, there may not be a New Year's Day 2013. May not happen. Archaeologists in Mexico have found a tantalizing artifact that mentions the year 2012, and that discovery is now adding fuel to what for some people was already a burning question: will the world end at the end of this year?
Behold, the end is coming next year. That is, if you believe that kind of thing. Here's another tantalizing piece of evidence. A brick discovered in the ancient Mayan ruins of Camalcalco that cites the year 2012. That's the exact same year mentioned on a 1,300-year-old tablet previously found among the nearby ruins of Tortuguero, with this intriguing inscription.
It's basically saying that the deity Bolon Yokte Ku appears on December 21st of 2012, and he descends and he performs a ritual,
which has led some people to say these signs point to December 21st, 2012, or maybe the 23rd, as Doomsday. In the movie 2012, that fateful day begins with California plunging into the sea, and then things really get bad.
Look at me, do I look scared?
We have, of course, been here before. There was Y2K at the end of the last century, and the California prophet of doom who predicted the biblical end of days earlier this year.
It's almost like we're out there looking for evidence of a looming apocalypse, and I think that also ties into a lot of uncertainty that exists in our world today.
Skeptics say the Mayan inscriptions actually say nothing about doomsday.
There's no real prophecy that says that this is going to be the end of the world, not from the Maya ruins anyways.
I can think of a lot of reasons to cash out and run away with your family these days to a desert island, but this Mayan prophecy isn't one of them.
Or is it?
China has said that an outbreak of an unknown viral pneumonia is not the respiratory disease SARS that previously killed hundreds of people. Confirmation came from health authorities in the city of Wuhan, where there have been 59 cases so far and 7 people are in a critical condition.
In central China, a man has died following an outbreak of an unknown pneumonia-like virus, which officials say comes from the same family as the deadly SARS virus. Health authorities say that only 40 other people are infected. Rich Preston reports.
Officials say the 61-year-old man shopped regularly at this seafood market and that it was the source of the virus. It's been sealed off by police and disinfected. The outbreak began in December in the central city of Wuhan, home to more than 11 million people.